Ladies and gentlemen, hey, it's Jesse from the original Fast and the Furious, and you're listening to Granny Shifting, the Fast and Furious podcast.
Welcome to Granny Shifting. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Jason.
And this is minute 19 of the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
And we're doing a fast one.
We're doing a very fast minute.
Okay, so his teacher looks down at the floor, actually looking at his shoes, and she's upset about it. And they go banter back and forth.
Wabaki.
She's speaking in Japanese, Wabaki, Wabaki, and he's like confused.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what's going on.
And she just keeps saying like Wabaki, Wabaki.
And the Australian girl in his class, Neela, thinks this is kind of funny. She's smirking.
She keeps looking at him with like a raised eyebrow and a smile and
Looking pretty cute.
yeah.
How old is she? Are we allowed to think she's cute?
She's 18 at least.
How old is she today?
I don't know.
Okay. We don't have time to look that up.
Yeah, we don't have time. This is a 6 minutes in heaven episode. So they just really keep saying Wabaki, Wabaki over and over. Like,
yeah.
This is why, like, you need to take...
It's like his teacher doesn't understand that he doesn't speak English.
Right.
Or Japanese.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
like, she's not doing a good job at all trying to explain what she's talking
but
about.
I do feel like if you were in a class in America and a person who only spoke Japanese came in, you wouldn't try and say shoes in Japanese. You would just say shoes.
But wouldn't you point to them and act it out, kind of?
Yeah.
And you'd guide them out to the hallway to switch into their slippers?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. She didn't do that. But the scene changes, and he's back out in the hall, and he's taking his shoes off and putting on slippers.
Yeah.
Now, two things. The hallways in Japan schools look exactly like the hallways in the U.S. schools.
Right.
Yeah. Schools are the same, apparently.
Yep.
Second, I had a friend from Taiwan, Terrence. Shout out Terrence. Good friend of mine. We went to college together. He was sort of... Actually, I got to talk fast. We don't have much time.
Right. Fast stories only.
He sat next to me in a random, I think it was Strength and Materials engineering class. And he wrote a note to me that said, "Will you tutor me? If you do, I will teach you how to drift."
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa, like, I already know how to drift, but this guy thinks he can teach me. I want to get to know this.
Right.
It's an Asian dude that knows how to drift. Here he, like, moved to Canada and, like, started drifting and got, like, really good at drifting in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Naturally. In,
Right.
like, the streets of Canada.
Right. I've heard of those.
But he was really into cars, and I helped him with math and strength and materials, engineering classes, and we became really good friends. He even came to my wedding. You've met him a few times.
Probably twice.
A couple times. I meant to say a couple.
Less times than you've been to Sheetz this year.
Less times than I bought hot food at Sheetz.
Okay.
But anyway, we went to his house, me and Shannon, to eat several times. And at their house, you walk in, and you know how most houses have like the linoleum area when you walk in,
right.
And then the kitchen's linoleum. But then the living room, there's that little metal strip and it switches to carpet.
Right.
Every time they walk between the linoleum and the carpet, they take their shoes off.
Really?
And then they put them back on. So, like, they put their shoes back on, and then they walk on the linoleum. And we're like, whoa, like, that's just a cultural thing for them.
Yeah.
And when we ate dinner with them, it was super fun. But we'd sit on the carpet in the living room, and they had, like, a griddle in the middle, and we, like, fry up, like, strips of beef and do, like, lettuce wraps. It was super... probably one of Shannon's favorite foods. But, yeah, it was super fun. But I just thought it was interesting because, like, the slippers... Like, the not walking with your shoes onto the floor of a room is, like, definitely a cultural thing in Asia, apparently. So,
well, it's interesting because they have a school uniform that includes the shoes. Because if you look, they all have the same exact shoes. Right. But then they need different shoes to go into the classroom.
And the uniforms are very formal.
Right.
But the shoes they wear into the classroom are, like, ridiculous.
Like slippers.
White slippers with, like, rubber blue soles on them.
Right.
Really ugly. It's kind of funny. Probably not actually like that. You think they probably made him a little bit ridiculous just for the...
Yeah. I mean, you could see the one guy's feet in the last shot, and he was wearing the exact same slippers. So,
really?
I mean,
maybe it's normal.
It's not like a bring your own slipper type of deal. But
school slippers.
Yeah. All right, this makes me want to just move to Japan. This scene right here.
Oh, this is hilarious. So now he's in the cafeteria for lunch.
Right. Some guy reaches past him, grabs some food off the table.
Like, when you're at our lunch in America, what are the kind of things on, like, the a la carte?
I don't know. I just always did, like, the featured lunch where you get what you get and you don't get upset.
But it's like a slice of pizza.
Right.
Or chicken nuggets.
Right.
Or...
Basic. Chicken sandwich.
Cheeseburger.
Quesadilla.
All right.
Yeah. Hot
So
dog.
their buffet of choice is like...
It looks amazing.
Like something you'd see at a super fancy
wedding.
It's
like the hors d'oeuvres at a wedding.
Like an entire fish, small fish, but the entire thing fried. The back is split open, and then it's stuffed with vegetables into the body of the fish.
Right.
Crazy looking. The other thing is like, I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what we're looking at, but it looks fancy and crazy.
Salmon, some sort of seafood here, right? I mean,
fish eggs, salmon.
I mean, it looks.
I don't know, but it's
looks
very
so good.
Fancy looking, and the kids are just grabbing it and putting it on their plates, and they're all
Right.
sitting just eating this. Like, maybe we just think it's fancy because we're.
Man, I just think that it's.
Do you think they come here and they're like, "Whoa, cheeseburgers? What?
Why do you guys put cheese on so much stuff?
Cheese, melted cheese on everything."
Is there cheese in Asian culture?
Oh yeah, it's got to be.
I'm trying to think of any Asian food that I've had that has cheese on it.
Tacos.
Did we exceed 6 minutes?
So, all right. Is that the end yet?
All right.
Oh, we're done. No, we're not.
No, we're not.
Got 8
All right,
minutes
so
left. All right.
he's got something with his chopsticks. At least he can do chopsticks.
Yeah.
That's good to see. Did you know it's okay to eat sushi with
what
your fingers?
is he eating? It was purple. Like, what food is like a light purple color that we eat?
Tofu. I mean, I think he's probably eating tofu.
Like grape flavored tofu.
It's just colored, just to be fun. It's nothing. I mean, tofu is just a filler.
Some of these things look like the thing you get at the Dragon Hibachi Asian buffet, and you're like, ooh, that's weird, and I don't know what that is, and I've never tasted a texture or felt that in my mouth.
Right.
I don't need to do that again.
Like oysters.
Or the dessert bar.
You were talking about doing like a griddle in like the middle.
Yeah.
We went to, he was what? Japan or Chinese? Taiwanese.
Yeah.
Taiwanese.
Terrence, yeah.
Terrence. We went to a friend's house, and he's Korean, and all of his friends there that were Korean. We were like, me and Melody and the one other guy were like the only white people there, and they did a hot pot, which was awesome. Have you ever done a hot pot?
Oh,
it's like a big thing of like boiling
water.
Well, it's like a stew,
or oil,
kind of like they had cooked a rabbit earlier.
Oh my!
And like boiled it in this pot.
Okay.
And then so that meat was already cooked. They took the rabbit out and they poured what was left in there, like the rabbit broth, into this other pot, and that was just constantly boiling. It was divided into two halves, and you like.
What was this called?
Hot pot.
Hot pot.
Hot pot.
Me and Shannon went to a restaurant like this in California. That's a chain. They're everywhere, and it was the same thing. Where there's like boiling water in the middle, and they bring you like a tray of like raw meats and stuff, and you
throw them in.
Yeah,
they had like watercress, and they had tofu, and they had different types of. They had like beef, and they had vegetables, and you throw everything in there, and you let it cook, and you pull it back out.
There's another
and eat
name
it.
for what's that style of eating called?
Fondue.
Yeah, it is fondue restaurant.
Is fondue an Asian? Because like fondue is like
melting pot. Is
that the restaurant?
That's the chain restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the melting pot.
Man,
so
we are
what did you think about
6 minutes. It was awesome.
I didn't like it.
Really?
I mean, I felt like the experience was really cool, but I felt all the meat. It literally tasted like a chunk of steak that was boiled in water.
I mean, everything's boiled.
Yeah, so I'm like, the food wasn't amazing, but I felt like it was a fun experience to like cook your food. And you had to be like very patient because you'd get it and then you'd sit there and wait.
Well, I do feel like it's more of like a social thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough for me.
Here's a funny quick story. Are we exceeding 6 minutes left? Yeah.
We're okay.
Okay. We still got time.
Well, the next one will be a fast one.
So we went as a family. We went on this long trip, 5 weeks out west. Me and when I was a kid, when I was in middle school, and we went to Little Tokyo in L.A. or Malibu or somewhere out in California. Went to this place, Little Tokyo, Little Japan. I don't know. And the restaurant, everything was in Japanese. They didn't speak English at the restaurant. The menus were entirely in Japanese. Like, you're picking stuff that you don't know what it is, and the waiter
Is it like that on purpose?
Well, I think it's like this is like when you go to like little, what do they call it? Little China? No, in New York they have this like
Chinatown.
Yes,
Like the street.
Like it's actually like it's where a lot of the people of that culture live, and so there's no reason to have Americanized things because nobody in that area.
So is it a tourist destination though?
I think it's something to experience, but I don't think they cater to English people.
Okay.
So this was the same way. Nobody knew what they were getting after we ordered. My dad ended up getting all this raw fish that he didn't know. And he did not want raw tuna.
Shannon
but
would love that.
I forget, one of my other siblings had ordered something, and it came with this little, like, tiny grill. Okay? It was like almost like a candle, like a tiny fire inside of this, like, stone thing with grate on
top thing. Okay.
And they use that to cook their food. So my dad was able to cook his food with that. So yeah, he was cooking. And they probably thought like, "Oh my goodness, you're ruining that tuna."
You're supposed to eat that raw.
But yeah, I loved what I got. I don't know what it was, but it was great. It was some sort of soupy John, and it was amazing.
I did that in Texas. We went to a authentic Mexican restaurant in Texas. Well, we were really close to the Texas border. And I was like, well, this is fun. Like, I want to order something new. And they had this, like, soup, and the lady didn't speak English. And so she was trying to explain it. She's very nice. Anyway, I ordered this, like, soup, and it came out, like, deep red colored. And it had, like, I'm eating it, and it had all these weird tasting, weird textures, like, chunks of things in it. And, like, I ended up, like, researching, and here it's, like, some soup they use, like, all the byproducts of animals. So it's all, like, pig ears and, like, pieces of tongue and heart and, like, all these weird organs are, like, in this. And it was the strangest flavor. It was so strange.
It was good or no?
Regrets.
Okay. Yeah. I do feel like that is good.
I mean, actually, I'm glad I ordered it. It was fun to try.
Right. I feel like
I would never eat it again.
I like the thought of people using more of the animal.
Yeah,
just, like,
there was a flavor though, and then the textures, and everything was like chewy hunks of skin, and
I feel like it was probably high flavor to counteract the weird things that you're eating. They're like, we really gotta spice this thing up.
But it was definitely like, you ever eat something that you're like, I have no idea what this is.
I feel like I get
never a taste. I've experienced before. It was odd.
Yeah. But. All right, so we get to the end of the minute. Sean just put something in his mouth that he enjoyed, and
somebody walks up behind him.
They start talking. They say the Japanese food is like the army. And that's all we get.
Somebody's about to make friends with him.
But it's in English. That's important.
That's true.
It's in English.
And he's like, whoa.
Wow.
We're friends.
Thanks for listening. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Jason.
And always remember,
winning's winning.